All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Shadow Mark podcast. I'm excited to be here. You might notice I have a little bit of a change of scenery here. I've been in the middle of moving, so that's kind of why we missed last week. And I've been trying to make everything meet and ends meet and what have you. Been busy, but such is life. TJ, you'll notice, is just as gorgeous as always. Killing it. And joining us today with Guitars for Vets and many other things that she does. I think she does a little bit of everything, but it is Miss Taylor Ullom.
Hello.
So we'll just go ahead. What we usually do is we'll just kind of ask you about to give us a short synopsis of who you are, tell us about yourself, and then we'll kind of dive into a little bit more stuff.
You want me to tell you a little bit about myself?
Yeah, let's start small, and then we'll gradually get bigger as we go.
Right, that was kind of vague. I'm like, where do we start?
We can start from birth. We can start wherever you want,
Well, birth plays a big part of that.
That's what they say. I don't know.
But truthfully, I mean, when we talk about where I am now, I did not know my birth father. He passed away when I was like 3. He was a Vietnam vet. Him and my mother were divorced. She was like 16 when she had me. And I didn't know anything about him my whole life growing up. And my mom remarried when I was about 5 or 6, and he was a Marine. My birth father was a Vietnam veteran. He had gone to Vietnam, and oh gosh, just over through life, people kept asking, "Why do you look different?" I was the only blonde, blue-eyed in the family, and I wasn't allowed to say, "This is my stepdad." That was very offensive to my mom, and I was so different from everybody. I had this obsession with guitars from birth. My first memory is wanting to touch a guitar. And I never knew where that came from. And it wasn't till I was in college that I first saw a picture of my birth father. And the picture that I saw was like looking in the mirror, blonde hair, blue-eyed man, wearing a cross and his, army get up holding a guitar. And then I don't really know how to describe what it's like growing up and not knowing the other part of you. You're missing a part of your identity, and in that moment when I saw that, my heart broke. This person was supposed to teach me to play guitar. This person was supposed to share this passion with me,
Right.
But my birth father, being a Marine, we moved every 3 years, and I ended up in Okinawa, Japan, not where you want your daughter to turn 16. Not
it doesn't
even
seem like it.
a little.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
Especially with a mother that got pregnant at 16.
Yeah, when you're sitting there around a bunch of rowdy Marines.
Oh my gosh, everywhere I went, there was a cluster of little Marines following me, everywhere, And I really had no idea what was going on. I was so naive and so trusting. But I met a guy in 10th grade. One of my high school friends had a brother. And anyways, we met, and he took me home to meet his parents. Well, his dad pulls out this beautiful 12-string acoustic guitar and starts singing and playing. And I'm just like, move. I must watch this, man. And he taught me how to play guitar. He taught me 3 chords. He was like, if you want to learn anything else, you've learned everything you need to know. So I always tell people, I learned to play from drunk Marines. I will teach you to play like a drunk Marine.
Hey, that's exactly how I play. So
right, those 3 chords got me through for a very long time. You can play a lot of songs with 3 chords.
I think I'm still stuck on 3 chords. I actually think,
I don't know. I've been watching you. I think you're doing pretty great.
I'm trying, but I don't know. 3 chords is pretty easy. I like 3 chords.
It all starts somewhere. But, and so life just has been so crazy the way it's unfolded. I mean, after I graduated from 2 years of college, I joined the Air Force. And I thought that would keep me traveling. But the Air Force does not travel the same way in the Marines do. So instead of moving every 3 years, I moved to Missouri. Period.
Yeah, that's exciting.
And stop. Well, it was home of the B-2 stealth bomber, which when I got picked up in Kansas City by my, I forget what you call them, sponsor or what have you, It was like midnight. She picks me up and she's driving us back 45 minutes to the base. And she's like, yeah, we've got the B-2 stealth bomber. Like literally like the first one had just arrived and the second one was on the way. It had previously been a missile base, which what was the name of that movie way back in the 70s? Something Tomorrow. And it was about like the nuclear war, Whiteman Air Force Base is
Oh, I know what
featured
you're
in that.
talking about. I can't remember what it's called though.
Like I'm digging back into files. But anyway, so I really did not know anything about Air Force bases. I was a Marine. And when I came home, I said, Dad, I'm joining the Marines. He was like, over my dead body. And then, he shipped me off to the Air Force, which wasn't a bad call now that I've seen the world.
Hindsight being 2020, I wish I would have done that.
Right. So I get to my first base, and a month later, though, I'm off to Italy, which was a funny story too. Like everything about my life is a funny story, but never an easy explanation. Like how did you end up in Italy? Literally working, minding my own business, and I walked past my supervisor's office, and one of the girls that I'd gone through basic and tech school with was in there, and I heard her going, I can't go. I'm fighting for custody for my kid, and I can't go. And I was just like, geez, what's all the drama, And I poked my head in and I go, I'll go. And everybody stopped what they were doing and they looked at me and they looked at her and they're like, oh, she's the same skill level and everything. And they're like, really, you'll go? And I said, yeah, I'll go. And they're like, cool, problem solved. I walk back in, I go, hey, where am I going?
I like the enthusiasm.
Adriano, Italy. And I was like, Italy? Shut up. A month later, I was on a plane to Italy, which was really good because half of my other group went to freaking Guantanamo Bay. So half of us were in Italy, half of us were in Guantanamo. So had I not volunteered for that, I would have ended up in Guantanamo.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds way better than where me and TJ went. So,
Yeah. So when we're sitting in a room full of combat vets talking about where they've deployed to, I've been to Afghanistan. Oh, I went here. And it gets to me and they're like, where'd you go? And I'm like, well, I don't want to say now. Like, you should have started with me. I'm not going to say now.
We could have started with my Kush life.
We were Operation Denied Flight. Okay, it was a pretty big deal. I was working the gym in Italy while all the fighter pilots were flying off to Bosnia.
No, I would brag all about it.
6-month vacation, bro. I had a blast. My motto was like, I'll sleep when I'm dead. I went to a Pink Floyd concert when I was over there. Like best concert ever. I still got the ticket. I gave my daughter the ticket, which is hanging on the wall here. I was just like, that was one of the best experiences of my life. We were in a packed soccer stadium. And I'm not kidding you, when there were like 3 people standing in the space of 1 person, I'm like, this is why these things collapse, because that's how packed in they get. And I was so blown away when I'm seeing all of these people from all these different countries, strobe lights going everywhere, Pink Floyd stage all lit up in its spectacular glory, and thousands of people going, we don't need no edge. And I was like, oh my God, I can die now, because life will never be as cool as it is in this moment right now.
Yeah, that's bizarre.
But then life just keeps getting infinitely cooler and things keep happening. And I mean, when I look back over my life, I just feel like the luckiest person ever. I mean, yeah, I've got bad stuff too that I've had to work through and stuff. But, man, the adventure has been incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and that's really what matters. I mean, life's supposed to be a journey, so you got to take the ups and the downs. And
right. Yeah.
I love that you said you have the ticket still, because now with everything being e-tickets, they've really, really ruined the nostalgia of getting a ticket. That's amazing. That's a big ticket.
Yeah. It's like holographic and stuff. It's so cool.
That's no shit. That's impressive. They need to bring that back.
That is one of the few things I have kept pristine in my life. And my daughter does a lot of designing work, and she found out that because she designs zines for vinyls and stuff for bands. Like she's been working with Soul Asylum and the presidents of America. Who are they? America, United States. I forget. Black Crows. All these people. She's doing all this work for and stuff. And she's like, "Mom, I just found out like you can win a Grammy for that kind of work." And I was like, "Well, let me give you something for inspiration, right? Because I can't take this to my grave." But I was like, "Don't you ruin this." I'm like, I've kept
I mean, to
this
be fair, you probably
for
could take it to your
decades.
grave.
Yeah, well, there won't be
I mean,
enough room for all the other awesome things. But yeah, so she hung that up on her wall. So
that's
that's
incredible.
how impactful that concert was. I've been to a million concerts since. A, I've never gotten a ticket that cool. And B, I've never kept any other ticket stub or anything to any other concert.
I don't think I've ever seen a ticket that cool. Usually it's just like some little thing. It says their name on it and it's got barcode and you're just like, all right, well,
Right.
whatever.
Yeah,
Well,
how much,
throw it out.
like
this was a long time ago, kids. Gather around grandma. This was in 1994. In fact, I don't know why I'm guessing. It was September 15th, 1994 to be exact, because it's, on the ticket.
That's
yeah.
wild that it would be there.
Sponsored by
Volkswagen.
Yeah, my tickets always have the dates and like, how much the bill's going to be. And that's about it.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, maybe because it was in Italy. I don't know of all the other concert venues like stateside. I've never seen anything stateside. I want to say though that a few bands are doing something kind of similar to that now. I think that you can order a specific ticket to some things, even though all of it's electronic. I think some of them are doing this now.
Yeah, kind of the memento, like keepsake thing. I mean, it makes sense. They're bringing back vinyl, so.
I mean, using that word. Everything is so electronic now that it's hard to have a memento of something,
Oh, yeah. It's wild.
And I'm a big memento person. It could be a rock, it could be a little figurine, it could be anything. I got 2 little statues up there also that I bought in Italy. Just a little reminder here or there of like the adventures I've been on. I just am a big memento person.
At Hero Stock is that I'm apparently not big on mementos because I didn't remember crap. I didn't remember to take a photo. I got those pics from you and Scotty, and that's what I got. And I was like, looking back, I was like, dude, you didn't even take pictures, man. What were you doing?
Look, nobody really did though. And let me tell you, I'm actually really happy about that. I am so happy that we were on in a space, like instantly thrown into it. It was just like a deployment or something, right? We all ended up in the same room together within an hour. Everybody has bonded, connected, and we were all so just engrossed in the moment that nobody had their phones out, staring at their phones, scrolling through anything. If they had their phones out, they're recording, Barbara and Scotty. But
right.
Outside of that, we just felt like we had our people. I mean, you could see the excitement in everybody's faces, but TJ, I couldn't find TJ. Just kidding.
That's all right. I disappeared.
I'm kidding. But the excitement was there the entire weekend. I felt like I was at a family reunion, except I didn't know my family yet, which is pretty common for an adopted kid, but whatever,
Right.
It was pretty great. It was pretty great.
I was gonna say, I felt at home there. The whole thing was crazy to me, but like getting that situation and then just feel comfortable like instantly, it was so weird to me. That doesn't happen very often. I don't think to anyone in life, but that whole group just really clicked right away.
I think, so when I first walked in, who was it?
Was it Joe Allen?
Yeah, he was there. I don't know why I'm blanking on everybody's name.
Jesse Coco.
He was there. Good. I'm glad you're remembering everybody.
Probably that guy with the beard and the tattoos.
Yeah, there weren't any of those guys there really, but the
guy with the beard, the ball cap, the beard, and the tattoos.
Yeah.
I think the other guy, his wife's name was Andrea, but don't be offended, I can't remember everybody's name.
I can't remember either.
Sean, Rick,
Ricky.
was it Ricky?
Yeah, that sounds
Anyways,
right.
it was a small group of people. Going in, I really didn't know any of them. I'd seen everybody in passing on these podcasts and stuff, but unless I've connected with you, like I really cannot permanently keep that in my head. It has to be a connection. But I sat down at the table and I was like, okay, I'm a little nervous. I'm meeting new people. And right away click. And Jesse's telling all of these stories about his deployments and stuff and the things he's saying. I'm just like, oh man, I found my people. I found my people. I don't sound like the weirdo in this group now. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to feel that connected again. And with people my age.
I get that.
No
I didn't
offense
know
to
what to
anybody
expect going
out
up
there,
there.
but I didn't either.
Like,
I guess I approached it like any other event. I'm going to go there. I'm going to talk about Guitars for Vets. I'll meet a couple of connections and then I'll just, blow on out of there. But it wasn't like that at all. I didn't even feel like I was there for work, It was just such an honor to meet all of you and to hear your stories and to be connected to even more people that I know if I ever needed anything, like I have people I can call. Like I'm okay. I'm safe. I'm good.
Absolutely.
Which is,
I mean, this group's like a 911 group call. I mean, really, they're there for everything.
Well, I'm like, my parents have passed, siblings, and divorced, and empty nester, and so it's like, oh, I'm just kind of hanging out here alone now. That's kind of scary. What if something bad happens? Who do I call?
Ghostbusters usually.
So just to know that you have people that are so willing. And when we had a friend in need this week, I made a call, boom, it was taken care of. And I'm like, it's amazing. We are all connected to resources. We are all here to help. We are all here to help heal and lift people up and make them their best selves. And man, where is that even going to go? Infinitely. There are possibilities we can't even comprehend now.
I mean, with everyone doing everything they can to help out, I have no idea where this ends, but I'm going to quote the whole, what was that? What was that whole stock thing that went on? But it was like, to the moon. That's where this is going.
I hope so. I hope it keeps growing. And just the look on Jason's face, when he was just like, I didn't expect this. And I'm like, dude, I've been there. I know. Like, you can't imagine what happens when you get veterans together who just so desperately want to see people not suffer. Like, if I'm suffering, I know there are people suffering worse, and I don't want that for them. And if I have the ability to connect people, if I have the ability to put the guitar in your hand and that just makes life a little better for you, I'm going to do it, whatever, that's my resource that I have. But my other resource is that I do connect people. I do connect things, and things happen there that I don't have to be a part of, but I made the connection, I don't know. I never saw life going this way for me, but I don't hate it. I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's been pretty exciting, like you have a lot of stories, and we have the pleasure of getting to dive into this all night. So I'm really excited to see what else. Like, let's go back a little bit. What made you decide was it just the father's kind of thing that led you to the military, or what?
I say it was a lack of
factor?
options. I didn't know any other way of life. Like, my whole life was in this microcosm of the Marine Corps. I was raised in the Corps. And so the loyalty and the values and the discipline and the dedication, like I was out there doing PT with the Marines and stuff. I was doing the combat courses with the Marines. I was like ready to go. I'm going to join the Marine Corps. Oh.
And you probably were more motivated than me and TJ, to be honest with you.
Honest to God, I can't imagine how people live outside of the military. Like, I want the uniform. I want the structure. I want um, I love that my purpose in life is to defend and honor. The purpose of it doesn't have to do with the value of a dollar, but it has to do with the value of life and freedom.
Right.
And I just know that this was where I was always meant to be. Um, I know when I was a little girl that I was like, I'm gonna be a country singer. That
Hey,
didn't
you're
pan
living that
out.
dream. You're living
Kinda.
that.
A daydream, maybe.
Hey,
But
daydreams better than no dreams.
I don't hate it. I love it. I have like this perfect balance in life of everything I am and was created to be, and all my experiences have culminated into a wisdom that I can share with other people, and whether through inspiration or whatever. I live my life in such an authentic way. I mean, I will tell you my mistakes. I will show you my scars. I'll tell you my stories. Like, I have nothing to hide. It's just life. There's good, bad, all kinds of things out there that we're going to live through. What's your takeaway from it? And how do you use that
Right.
to grow yourself even more? You know, um, I'm not one to dwell on the bad. I don't want to stay stuck in a bitter, angry mindset. If I see that I have issues to work on, I'll tell people all the time. I'm in so much therapy. I have like 3 therapists. You know, they just trade me off because they can't all take it all at one time.
Yeah, I need about 6 of them, so I get it.
They have to talk to their therapist about you.
Right. But but that's just because really, a therapist is there more to help you change your perspective and your mindset, and to give you tools and resources to adapt to things that are triggering for you. I have triggers. I know my triggers, and I now have a pool of resources and people that I can contact where, there's stigma and shame to asking for help. In the way that I grew up, it was shameful to talk about mental health and suicide. Like, that's why my mother never told me about my birth father. Like, to this day, I don't truly know how he died. It
Mhm.
says suicide, that he tried to hang himself, but he ended up in a coma for a year and succumbed to, I think it was pneumonia, before he actually passed. But then the other stories is like, yeah, but there was this guy that wanted his radio and his body was covered in bruises, and they think maybe somebody else did it and made it look, and it's like, what what does a child do with
Right.
that information? Um but what's so great about this part of my life now is I feel like I'm honoring him and that part of me, um, that I never got to even talk about before. And so I have this tattoo on my arm that says, "Just like my father," because I am. Like,
Yeah. I was gonna
it's
say,
like,
it seems like you've somehow spiritually like intertwined, like
you want to bring up the spirit stuff?
I will. I'm all about this. So we gotta bring up, what was it, spooky
So
bitches?
yeah, I kind of started that. Um, because so I'm a very spiritual person, and don't get that twisted with
No, you
religion.
seem
That's
you seem
different.
very in zen with like life.
Mhm. I just know things, whether you wanna call that pattern recognition or whatever. Really weird, quirky things happen around me, and, when I play guitar, like, orbs will show up, and so, like, my birth father is with me when I'm working, when I'm playing guitar, and I'm in that zone. He's there with me, and, like, it's hard to explain that to people who don't understand. People are like, "Witch," whatever, whatever you wanna believe. Like, I've always had these abilities and these knowings and awareness. I just didn't know that other people didn't also have them.
That's pretty
Um,
crazy.
and at this stage in life, like, the more trauma I went through, the more my spiritual awakening happened, and, I just started to realize that was another thing I had to accept about myself. Like, this is a gift, and using the guitar as a form of helping people to heal. And you're a healer. And I'm like, okay, this is who I am. Let's do it. And I will wholeheartedly say that I have a love for Jesus. I love Jesus. That's where my beliefs lie, but I
Mhm.
also understand that the more I think I know, the more I realize I don't know. And I'm not here to judge anybody. I just want to love. And in the
Yeah, I
Christian
mean
Bible,
that's
it says God is love, and that's what I focus on.
yeah, and that's what we're supposed to do. And it seems like that's getting pushed to the wayside more and more these days.
It's
But
cyclical if you want to get into the historical aspect of the world.
oh, yeah,
But
absolutely. I mean, I'm not saying history's been good, but we're
mm,
definitely cycling back into that, like,
yeah, but that's
you know,
that's common. That's common historically speaking in all
right.
kinds of civilizations. Is that men will go through a period of being reliant on God, and then man will become self-reliant, and then man gets beat down and goes, "Oh no, we do need God," and it's just
Just
throughout
cycle.
history. Yeah, yeah, it's just a cycle. So I
That's
just
why
look
we need our
around,
witches, you know.
which
Where my witch is at.
oh my gosh, it's spooky season. No, but yeah, if you wanted to get weird things, like I have weird things in
Let's
my
talk weird.
home. Yeah,
I love weird.
so
I'm trying
yeah,
to get TJ to come back on. Let's start doing our cryptid stuff again because I love that stuff. And
See,
yeah.
I didn't know
I
that.
want to come back.
Apparently, I'm pretty spiritual too. Because if I stand up too fast, I have a whole bunch of orbs show up. So
And then
now,
you get the sudden need to pray,
yeah,
prostrate on the floor.
Yeah, I just lights out. I'm dedicated at that
I get
point.
that
It's
too.
great.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I think it's something everybody has. We all have this innate capability to connect with energy and life outside of ourselves. I mean, we're
Mhm.
receptors. We're, the way we're built even. We're in touch with energy and stuff. But we are so clouded with noise and distraction and things that it's so hard just to sit and be still. But that's why people say like meditation is so good for you. And anybody going through healing on the veteran side of things, like that's one of the things that in the whole health program they try to teach you with the yoga and stuff and the meditation. And people think that that's dumb, but it's actually like really good for you. And it's something that it's a practice that I really have to have. But for me, like I know for me, I have to be out in nature, specifically near water, preferably moving water, um, to find that grounding and centering for myself to just connect. But I mean, I think if you've ever been a hunter or whatever, you get these instincts and pattern recognitions and stuff. And um, but it's a capability and a gift everybody has. We just have to label everything in a weird sort of way.
Yeah, I mean, it's what we do. We're creatures. We tend to have to dot our I's and cross our T's, and
So
no
when
need
I
to do it all the time.
first moved into this house, if you want to get weird,
And
um,
it's get weird.
I remember I have this long hallway here. And there were days where kind of peripherally, I would see like this dark shadow move from one room across the hall to the other, and it was in the shape of like a man, because I always thought there was a man in the hallway. And I would be like, "Oh, that's weird. I thought I just saw something." And it's not like you're gonna go report that to somebody. Hey, guess what? I thought I saw something today. Like you forget
Right.
about it because it happens so fast. But one night we had friends over, and my friend worked for OCI, military, cop or whatever. And he goes, "Holy shit." And I'm like, "What's up, dude?" He goes, "I thought I just saw somebody in your hallway." And I died. I was like, "Shut up."
you see him too?
I did. I was like, "Shut up. Don't even say it. Are you serious?" He goes, "Yeah, he walked from here to there." And I was like, "Oh my God." And then my husband at the time was like, "I've seen it too." And I'm like, "What? What the hell?" And then we're putting all these pieces together. Oh, my kid won't sleep in my room without closing the door because he said he saw eyes in the hallway. My other kid is telling me she can't sleep at night because she hears people talking. And I'm like, "Oh my God, this is getting so weird." So
I
like
think you need to move or burn the fucking house down.
I got
Right.
my Bible out. I went through all the rooms. I like closed all the windows, opened the door, and I was just like, "Everybody out. Get out. Get out." Because we
Burning
tried to
sage
debunk
coming
it.
through.
I've never done the sage thing, but I just
It's worth a
prayed and
shot.
I was just like, hey, please get out of my house. And truthfully, from then on, I never saw it again. Never. But now keep in mind, I've lived in this house for about 23 years now.
Mm.
And when I tell these stories, everybody starts picturing these events happening like they just watched a scary movie. But like it's spread out. It doesn't happen all the time,
No,
and it usually happens so fast that you're like, oh, I just made that up. But I've had, my water turned on, my TV turned off. I'm very weird around electronics. I screw with electronics so bad when I walk into a room.
just
Um,
your aura.
and then uh, like
Oh,
I
Jesus. I just
specifically
realized
there
we
was
had comments.
I freaking would feel somebody sit on my bed, like get in my bed with me. My kids have seen things around the house. Probably one of the spookiest ones was my 17-year-old was taking a shower one night and I hear him scream, "Mom!" And I was like, I don't like the way that sounds. And I looked at my daughter and I said, if that was you screaming for me, I wouldn't be worried. But the fact that your brother is screaming for me from the shower terrifies me. So I go to the door and I'm like, what's up? And I go in. He shuts it real fast. And I was like, okay. He's like, Mom, are you in here? And I was like, John, why would I be in there? You're showering, dude. He's like, don't mess with me. I was like, John, I'm not messing with you. I would not come in the bathroom while you're showering. He opens the door. He yanks me into the bathroom. He goes, Mom, I swear to you, somebody was in here. I kept peeking around the curtain because I could tell somebody was in here. Were you in here? I said, Jonathan, I was not in the bathroom. I am a big practical joker with my kids, but like there are boundaries, okay? and he
Right.
goes, then who did that? And he points to the mirror and I go, why did you write on the mirror? He goes, I did it. And we were both like,
No.
open the door,
No.
out. I was like, what is happening? And then my daughter goes in and they're looking at the mirror and the letters MAR are on there. And I'm listening to them talk this out. And they're like, Mar, what does that mean? I already knew what it meant. So I didn't say anything. And they're like, maybe it's the name of the woman I saw downstairs, or maybe it means something and blah, blah, blah. So they go look up the definition. And I don't know if you know what it means to mar or something, but it's like to
No.
harm, to hurt, so
Oh, fair enough.
I hear them look
It's a
that
very
up.
old
And they're
timey way to say it.
they're like, no. And John like runs to his room. He finds his necklace. He puts it on. Couple days later, he's walking down the hallway with a friend of his. They were doing a book report on one of the veterans they met at one of my events who told a story about how he was homeless, how he found Jesus, and all of this. So they're walking down the hallway talking about that. This punk kid comes up to him and he's all like, you need to stop talking about that crap in my hallway. Blah, 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 blah. Giving John smack. John does not take smack from anybody. And he was like, dude, this conversation doesn't involve you, so get lost. And kid's like, oh, you're not talking to me that way? And he comes back and he goes to punch him right in the chest. Kid pulls back. Ow! He's got a cut across his knuckle. The dean sees him. This 7 foot tall of a man comes, grabs this kid by the collar and hauls him away. John's friend looks at him and goes, oh my God, that was really weird. He's like, happens all the time. And his friend's like, what? John pulls out his necklace. He's wearing a huge like iron cross. And on the cross has the verse, no weapon formed against me will harm me. And I was just like,
Fair enough.
is that a connection? Was that like a warning in there? Like, is that what it, like you were going to get hurt? I don't know. It was just like very close together and
Yeah,
kind
there's
of
a
a
lot
weird,
of like,
because he wouldn't have had that cross on had that not have happened. He could have got punched in the chest and hurt really bad. I don't know. But
that's insane.
it's just crazy, right? It's crazy. My husband at the time came home one day sick as a dog and he went to lay down, which he would like never do. He never slept in the daytime. I'm in the kitchen. He's in the way back bedroom and I hear this horrible crash. I go running to the bedroom. I throw open the door. He's startled awake in the bed. I go, what happened? What did you do? He goes, I didn't do anything. It was in the closet. I'm like, what are you talking about in the closet? We go look in the closet, and one of the shelves has been like ripped out of the wall. These things were bolted into the wall. And of all the shelves in my closet, that had the least amount of stuff on it should not have come out of the wall. And I was like, I looked at him and I said, who did you piss off, dude? Like,
Yeah, like, what'd you do
keep that
to
to
deserve
yourself,
this?
my brother.
I don't need that kind of juju.
No, man. No, man.
I keep chasing that juju, and I still can't get it. You know,
I got messages the day before my mom died, the day before my stepdad died. I met all my children before they were born, my grandchildren. Like, it's just been such a bizarre thing. And then now finally I found people that I can talk to it about, because I did try to like go to the church and stuff, and of course they're like, yeah, you're a witch, you're talking to the devil or whatever. I'm like, I don't find that helpful, thank you. But
yeah, I don't
but
know that
anyway,
this is the right
honestly,
way to address this.
I just always say I don't feel like I told you so is a superpower, because nobody listens when I tell them things. So you press
Man,
on.
that's impressive though to get that many messages, because I don't even barely get text. Like,
Right. The one thing that always happens, like I think it follows me around, because if there's any beer left in my house, the next day it's gone. If I go
Oh,
to a hotel, the beer will be gone. Like the cans will still be there; they're just going to be empty.
spirits are drinking it.
It's crazy.
that is
Yeah.
wild.
Oh, I got
That's a
another one.
superpower, honestly.
About 2 years ago, we were getting all the windows replaced, and my daughter and I were taking down all the fixtures off the windows. And then the room next to me. So this back bedroom, my bedroom, and the hallway have been like the three most active places in the house. And so we had been in this back bedroom and pulled down all the window fixtures and pushed everything up against the closet door on the far side of the room, left, moved out to the living room. And Jordan's like, we're going to need to drill. And I go, oh, shoot, we left that in the back bedroom. So I run to the back bedroom and I go to open the door, and it can't open the door because the desk was pushed in front of it. And I was like, Jordan, Jordan.
Like,
And she comes back and she goes, I can't open the door. I was too mad to be scared because I really needed the drill. And I couldn't just like throw myself against the door, because we had stacked books and the printer and all of these things on top of this desk. So like I would have knocked all that over and broke it. So we just kept like bumping till I could finally just like slide into the room to get the drill. And I was like yelling at imaginary people. I'm like, yeah, stop screwing with us. We are trying to work. Well, the next day, the window guy comes in and he goes walking down the hallway. He's got this big like caulking gun on his shoulder, and he comes back out and he goes, hey, do you mind if I go in the back bedroom and I work on the window? And we're like, no. He goes, are you sure? Because I didn't want to interrupt who was in there. And we're like, what do you mean?
what?
There's nobody in there. He goes, no, I heard somebody moving furniture in there. And I said, oh, no, it's fine. There's nobody in there. Go ahead. And so he goes, okay. And he goes back and he like knocks on the door, and then he goes in. And then Jordan and I are peeking around the hallway like, and I'm like, do I tell him?
Just
And Jordan's
wait.
like, Jordan goes, don't tell him. And I said, Jordan, like, I don't want like something following him home. Like, I feel like he should know. So I go back there and I'm like, hey dude, how's it going? How's your day? Cool. So like, do you believe in ghosts? I was like, when you leave here, just tell like nothing, come home with me. He was cool with it.
I like that. That's like a disclaimer that, people that go to your house, they have to like fill out like this little piece of paper. It's like,
Yeah, they gotta sign a waiver, get it notarized.
Yeah. Jordan's friends don't
any
like
spirits
to come
that may
over.
or may not leave with you, that's your
Well,
problem.
one of my friends is a psychic medium, and she was over here one day and she goes, you have a male spirit in your house. And I go, yeah, I know. She's like, do you want to know his name? And the kids at the time, they were guessing the name, and she was like, no, it's a J name. And the whole time I've been going, it's John, it's John, it's John. And they're guessing and they're guessing. And she goes, "No." I go, "It's John." She's like, "Yes." I was like, I knew it. Oh my God. Like, she goes, "Do you want me to make him leave?" And I go, "No, he doesn't really bother us." She goes, "No." I go, Why is he hanging out here?" She goes, "He thinks you guys are like really funny. Like he likes hanging out with you guys." And I was like, I mean, okay, that's fair. We are
Yeah,
very
that's a good
funny.
reason to stay. I mean, I'd stick around for that.
I'm just like, this is our life. Okay. So
It seems like a pretty good life to me. I don't know.
like nothing. Well, actually, Barbara was at my house and she says she saw John, and one of
I believe
Jordan's
that.
friends saw John. So, you know, he's been pretty quiet lately, but when we play music, he shows up for sure. Like he's another little spirit guy that likes to hang out. And so she was over here playing music and she saw him behind Jordan. And after she left, Jordan was like, "I didn't want to say anything." She goes, I knew he was around me. I could feel something like behind me. But you know, I mean, like, he's cool.
Yeah, he's just a chill guy. He's just there to hang out and have a good time. He just wants to have fun. Can't blame him.
I mean, you know, whatever. So I assume it's him. Somebody often locks me out of the bathroom and my bedroom. So we've had that
Yeah,
happen a few times.
that seems helpful. Not at all.
And one night, there hasn't been a man living in this house for a long time. I got up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night one night and fell in a freaking toilet because somebody had raised. And this is
Yeah,
my
there's
life
not a
now.
man living in
I'm
that house that
yelling
you know
at a
of.
ghost. I'm like, "That is not funny, John. What are you?"
You son of a.
We got rules, man.
Like, put the seat down.
You're at the real
This is
brand new right
crazy.
now, damn it.
Like, I've been living here for years, just been the girls, and we haven't had this issue in a very long time. So it caught me very by surprise.
Just sitting there.
Anyway, so that's just a couple of my stories.
I like it. But let's dive into what you're doing now. Because I'll get sidetracked for the rest of the show. That's what I do. It's
Right.
I also forgot we had comments the entire freaking time the show was going.
Our family
And,
is on here.
Yeah, I was like, so let's just cycle through them. So we had Brian. We had I have no idea because we don't have the agreement signed out.
Facebook
I'm
user.
glad that we're more than
That
7
is
people.
Justin.
Yeah, hell yeah. I love Justin.
Justin.
We got
Donald.
Donald,
Barbara.
Barbara. We love Barbara.
Shauna Thompson.
That's my mama.
Brian Roof. Scott Fredenberg. Shannon Book. Hi, guys.
Yeah, I sat there and I was like, man, I feel like I'm missing something. And then I looked over and I saw it said like 11 comments. I was like, son of a God. I like this one though. This is my favorite comment.
It's probably because he heard me talk. What the fuck? That guy knows how to talk?
I think it's the mustache.
Oh, yeah. That's probably what it is.
If I was guessing, it's the mustache. I don't know.
Right.
I think it looks good on you. Like,
Thank you.
you're kind of like a goose to your mouth.
Kind of
you know?
felt out of place not having a beard when I was there to everybody.
Yeah, you shouldn't though. You could have painted one on. My daughter does that.
Next year I will. I'll come in with a full beard. Just paint a bunch of hair on my face and
Just
be
glue a
like all
bunch-
you cool guys.
save your hair as like it pulls out, and when you're like brushing it, combing it, and whatnot, and then just eventually
tie
like
it.
Just pull
Yeah,
a bunch
that
of them off
works.
of your shower wall because
Yeah.
I know you have a bunch of fucking hair on your shower wall like every other woman does.
Oh my god, dude. I clean my shower, okay? That's judgmental. John does it for me.
What a good guy.
He's so good.
What a good geist.
Right?
that was good. That was nice. That was
That was
good.
very good. That was very good.
Well played, TJ.
Thank
well
you.
played. This is why we keep you around. He's my little. I try to take care of him. He's my like one thing I try to keep pristine.
Oh.
Doing pretty
Yeah,
good so far.
so what am I doing now, you asked?
Yeah, let's talk about Guitars for Vets. What you're doing,
Okay.
how you're helping the veteran community, and everything. Like how you got into it.
Oh my gosh. Well, 2015, when life was going into the toilet, my way of coping with trauma is to find something I can turn positive. So, my sister had died the year before, and I had started taking psychology courses. And one day, this man came in and was like, "What are you going to do with your degree?" And I was like, "Well, not about to start a career at 50." So I was like, off the cuff, I totally go, "I'll probably teach veterans with PTSD how to play guitar." This is that quirky knowing stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Well, flash forward a year later, and I'm sitting there and I'm just like talking to God, and I'm just like, "God, I just like life is too hard right now, and people are killing themselves, and I can't stand sitting here and not being able to help. Like, how do you reach people before they get to that point of thinking there's no other way out?" And like, I kid you not, like this ray of sunshine hits my guitar, and I look at that and I'm like, that's funny. Because at the time I was not playing guitar well. And then I recall that conversation in the class that day. And I was like, okay, let me just Google and see what's out there. So I literally just did a Google for free guitar lessons for vets, and up popped Guitars for Vets. And I was like, oh my God, this is a thing. I was so excited. And I'm looking for a chapter in Nebraska. There wasn't one. So it said to start a chapter, click here. And I was like, ooh, that seems irresponsible. Cause like I'd been out of the military for like 12 years at that point. I'd been in mom mode, you know. And I was like, oh my God, I don't have the skills to do this. I never really learned properly how to play guitar, blah, blah, blah. Well, I had just read on the 22 a day page about a woman who had 3 small children who combat vet took her life and left behind those babies. And I remember thinking, like, where would I have to be to think my kids would be better off without me? And I thought, you know what? I would rather try and fail than have another person take their life. And
Right.
I clicked that button thinking I would only have to teach people how to play guitar. If God would have showed me all this other stuff, I would have been doing, I would have been like, no, thank you, sir. I cannot do that. But I almost let the fear of not being good enough stop me from doing this. And so every time there's a graduation or something, like I'm crying because I think like, what if I had not clicked that button? Like you don't know what you don't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it and the choices that we make when nobody's looking almost seem like to be the most important choices you'll make in your lifetime.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so 2016, February 2016, we became an active chapter for a couple years. Just stayed really focused here in Omaha doing what we do. And then in 2020, National called me up and they were like, hey, what are you guys doing down there that makes your chapter so successful? And I was like, oh, well, first of all, I did not know I was successful. So thank you. I've been feeling like a failure. I'm an A-type personality, hardcore, man, like so bad. And they were like, would you come work with us at National and help us grow our chapters and sort of mentor, you know, the coordinators and stuff? And I was like, I would be happy to. I will be happy to work with anybody that wants to work with me, but like, I can't babysit people. Like, I can't work with people who
Right.
don't want to hold up their end of the deal. That's a terrible waste of resource, time, and energy, in my opinion. So, yeah. So then I got hired on at national level, and now, I mean, I've been to all kinds of events and festivals all over the place, met all kinds of people, met all kinds of other organizations. And there again, you know, like locally here, I don't even really teach that many lessons because my other instructors have taken over. One of them stepped up and became the chapter coordinator because now I work so much nationally that like I don't want to lose the family and what we've built here for us. So he's managing that part of it. I do more of like the PR fundraising side of the house stuff now. But I, you know, just this past summer was in Puerto Rico, met with the coordinator down there, Frankie Perez, amazing guy, combat vet, incredible. Like, you're at dinner with a combat vet when you're in Olive Garden and a crash happens and he immediately goes into posture with his fork. And we're all like, yeah, cool. Like it doesn't even phase
Yeah,
us.
dude,
We're like,
no
that's
problem.
fine. We're like, we're safe, right? Cool. Everybody back. Because like, I also if I hear a loud noise, I'll be like, yeah, right? Like I get startled with stuff like that. Not
Yeah, I
just
get
from my military life. That's growing up in places you should not be in.
Like the house you're in now,
No,
for example.
no, this is gonna take us down another avenue of weird stories in my life of like
Your kids have water balloon fights that have been blessed, so they're holy water in those
holy
balloons.
water. Everybody's getting blessed all the
Hell
time.
yeah.
Yeah, I always
Of
say
course.
I always get my fist in holy water before I go into any room in case I gotta fight ghost.
Hell yeah. Gonna get that 2-piece and a biscuit. What's up?
Yeah, what's up?
No, but I mean, I grew up in high school where the gangs would call up and be like, "Hey, we're going to be coming on campus today, so you might want to send your kids home so there's nobody getting hurt." Like, so guns popping off at a football game where a guy got shot in the back just 2 bleachers down from me, and
Jesus.
like, yeah, so I got PTSD just from growing up around. They don't put Marine bases in like the best parts of town.
Nah, no, they really don't.
Yeah. But
Or in
anyways, back to Frankie Perez
populations.
though. But he has worked so much on his healing journey and found Guitars for Vets, Wounded Warriors, and other programs all along the way. The man plays guitar like Frankie Santana. But I got invited down to Puerto Rico. This summer I performed in a 500-year-old castle. Probably older than that, I think. But
That's cool.
and I'm just like standing there, like looking at my life, like, what? I clicked on a button going, I'll teach people how to play basic guitar. And the next thing I know, I'm like in a bathtub on the rooftop of a hotel in San Juan, Puerto Rico, overlooking the ocean in a 500-year-old castle.
I
In a bathing
wish
suit. In a bathing suit.
wish any of my irrational decisions to push a button led to things like that. Usually it leads to usually it just leads to me having less money and one
Computer
more thing
viruses.
I don't need. Yeah.
Computer. This was just God's plans for my life. But every place that I've gone in adventure truthfully took me out of my comfort zone. Like it's always been met with hesitation and fear and self-doubt, that I
Yeah,
have
I
to
get that.
overcome every time to be like, I'll be like, yeah, I'll totally do that. And then I'll have so much anxiety and stress leading up to that, over worry and over prepare, have anxiety attacks the night before, get there, cry through my whole performance because I'm feeling I get so spiritually overwhelmed that I end up crying through all my performances. Like last night, I finally got to perform, just play music, and I finally made it through a whole night without crying while I'm performing. So that was great.
That's
But
fantastic. Hooray.
small achievements. But I got to play in Milwaukee a few times, got to open the stage for like 311, Howard Jones, Modern English, guys like that.
That's so awesome.
And I'm just like terrified the entire time. Terrified. And I'm just like, how did I get to be here? But it's facing fears, facing self-doubt, having the courage to get launched out of your comfort zone and just trusting that you are where you are because you deserve to be there. Like,
Right.
you did the work to get there. And I want that for everybody. I want everybody to be the best versions of themselves they can be, because I do often wonder, because I am an overthinker, like, have I reached my full potential? Is this the best I'll ever be? Like, do I have room for more growth? And I'll think, man, I'll never top this year. And then sure enough, the following year, I'll just feel like, oh my gosh, well, I'll never
did
top
it.
this year. And then the next year, holy crap, we're still doing this. This is incredible. But that's how I hope I go out. It's just continuing to live life and be impactful and be adventurous and keep moving and shaking things up. Like I don't see myself going out, sitting on the couch at night watching Wheel of Fortune and feeding my cats. I mean, if that's somebody else's choice about that way. I love that for you. For me, though, it's
We're gonna
going
pretend like you
to
didn't
be.
just call us out on that, so it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. We'll just
I'm
pretend
just
like that
saying,
didn't happen.
that is not for me. That is not how I see it going.
We'll move it along now.
Some people want
I gotta
that.
say, our lives are very similar in that usually I wake up every day and I go, certainly it won't get worse than this, and then someone else will kick me in the nuts, and so it's very similar, really.
But the immediate thing that came to me is you have something to learn. And
Yeah,
that's
I
how
have a
you
lot to. I have a lot
want
to
to
learn.
keep receiving
Like
life.
I really need to be more positive about things, but it is a lot more fun to be
Maybe just
pessimistic
wear
sometimes.
a cup, Derek. Come on.
I know. I was thinking about that. It's usually pretty literal. I think it's usually, like my dog kicked me right in the crotch.
Well, if you know anything about your chakras, maybe look up that chakra and see what that says about you.
Yeah, I probably should. I should learn a lot of things, and I'm working on it.
Yes, you are,
Yeah.
and I'm proud of you for that. That's all
I
it takes.
don't try to get better myself any more than I already am because I'm pretty sure I peaked.
You think you peaked?
Yeah,
I know for a fact I have not peaked. I know that for a fact. I have a lot of upward momentum to go, but we're getting there. That's going to take some time.
Yeah,
My
no,
life-
I'm not saying I'm like great at everything. Like I'm aggressively average, like pretty much everything.
Me too.
But like there's
I like that aggressively average. I want that on a t-shirt.
that's why.
That'll be the first Shadow Mark t-shirt.
That's going to be the name of my next band.
That's a really good. Yeah.
That holds the bar right where it should be. Okay.
That's it. Yeah, I like that. TJ, make that shirt happen. You got connections.
Boom. Done.
The first Shadow Mark t-shirt.
Aggressively
average.
Mm.
I like this.
Yeah.
We're good.
Now,
We're getting places tonight.
My life advice for my kids was like, don't peak in high school, guys. Don't peak in high school.
Yeah, that's a terrible place to peak.
Yeah, I mean I was pretty shitty then too. So
and I know I didn't peak in the Marine Corps. That was not it.
I mean I'm progressively
anything,
getting like worse and worse. So like that's
if
depending
life's
on
a
how
bunch
you're
of
looking at
valleys,
this,
I was probably kind of doing like a rolling, kind of started okay, kind of went down, was like, yeah, and then back up.
How long were you in the Corps?
I just did 4 years.
You just did 4 years? Okay.
Yeah.
And
I wanted to do more, but I tried to come back to help my kids, and that didn't work out. But
TJ, how about you?
Yeah, I did 5 years. If pretty much 4, like actually in the Corps. The last year I was like on restriction the whole time, but that's not a big deal.
Yeah, that's just because he usually spends most of his time in prison. But
what went through your guys' mind when you were in basic training?
Oh, I had a blast.
Yeah, I did too. So it's really weird because
Honestly.
it was the hardest thing about boot camp was not laughing because you weren't allowed to laugh.
Yeah, I
the
know.
Funniest shit that's ever happened to me in my life, and I'm not allowed to laugh about it. And
that
was hard.
So
it's a bunch of people wishing, and I wanted to laugh.
What went through my mind was I should have joined the Marine Corps. Number 2, I went through during the holidays, and I was at Lackland Air Force Base, and they said, we're going to have a Christmas talent show. If you want to be in the talent show, you can be excused and go to this event. But if you choose not to participate, you will be here doing chores. So, of course, we're all like, oh, I want to be in a talent show. So I ended up with this group of girls, and we're like, listen, this is our plan. We are going to come up. We're going to go up there, and we're going to sing like 3 Christmas songs. But nobody could remember the words to any Christmas song, like not all the way through, outside of the chorus. It was like, crap, what's the rest of the song? Well, I'm watching one by one this keep getting closer to us as this hidden MTI is in the back of the theater screaming at people, and it's getting closer. And then she calls on us, and I go, oh shit, we are not ready. I go, you know what? Keep working. And they're like, what? And I walk lonely down this theater aisle up onto the stage to the spotlight and a mic. I take a big breath. I'm looking out into the audience for this TI, and I just unleashed every joke that had been in my brain the entire time I had been there. And I had everybody in that theater rolling. And then I hear after I'm done, Airman! And I was like, I went too far
What'd
this
it do?
time, God. I went too far. So I had to go report to this TI in the back of the theater. I'm like, Airman Fry reports this order. She goes, Airman, why didn't you audition to be my MC? And I was like, what? Like, this is not what I'm expecting to get yelled at for. And I was like, I don't know. She was like, you're my MC. Go dismiss the entire front row. And I'm like, oh my God. Oh, yes, ma'am. So I go marching back down the aisle. There is this row of guys lined up to audition for MC. I go, she says, you guys can leave. She doesn't need you. Bye. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. So yeah, Christmas Day, I emceed the talent show at the Bob Hope Theater at Lackland Air Force Base. All my
Awesome.
jokes, I did the whole thing. It was amazing. It was an amazing experience to be with people. Like, we're all homesick. We're all like just in this place stuck together. And for a little bit, I made everybody forget about our situation, you know? Well, it also put a big target on me because after that event, everywhere I went, people recognized me. And so I'm in the cafeteria and I hear, Airman! And you know, everybody freezes, clink, glasses drop, silverware drops, and everybody's like, and they're like, you. And I'm like, oh shit. Me always pushing the bull. You're not supposed to chew and carry your tray. You know, you can only chew when you're
Oh, yeah.
sitting down. But I was always like, this is how I entertain myself. I'm returning the tray. I'm still chewing. And I'm like thinking, oh my God,
Right.
they caught me chewing finally. And I go up to the table. They call it the snake pit. Airman Fry reports this order. And I get this tea. I go, are you that airman that MC the Christmas show? And I'm like, oh shit. Yes, ma'am, that was me. You got balls. And I'm like, oh, she's really pissed about the TI jokes. And she's like, and that like, I know guys have balls, but like we got balls too. They're just like up inside of us. And I'm just like, what is her point? You know? She's
Where's
like,
this going?
you need to audition for Tops and Blues. And I'm like, I'm a Marine Corps brat. I don't even know what that is. I'm like, okay, you know. And then she was like, that, you know, that's all. You're really funny. And I was like, oh, okay. So everywhere I went on the base, I would get called out by TIs and just be scared shitless, thinking I'm in so much trouble, only to have them tell me how funny I was. And I'm like, cool. Can't wait to get off of this base where people don't recognize me anymore. But
Learning, Shannon.
We
that
don't
was-
know either.
they were like, who wrote that for you? I was like, I wrote it myself. And they're like, you did? And I'm like, yeah, I had a lot of time on my hands. So, you know,
Yeah, turns out.
the guys would be asking me, like, one of my jokes was like, I've been here so long that the hair on my brother flight's legs is longer than the hair on their heads, or something like that, or something. The hair on my legs is longer than the hair on their heads. And they would be like, is that true? Like,
You sitting there questioning it now?
is that true? I'm like, do you want to see my legs right now?
Do you think? Like what?
Yeah. That was again, another, you know, horrible situation where it could have been miserable, but I just had a friggin' blast. Like,
Yeah,
made great memories out of it.
That's all you can do. I mean, I had a blast at it. I think all of us in the Marine Corps, though, I think we didn't get to like audition for a talent show or nothing, but we did go to church on Sunday. So, that was pretty cool.
Everybody became very religious and basically
Everyone was religious, and I believed in every religion because I could try to get out of everything. I was like, I'm Jewish today.
Absolutely. Yom Kippur starts tomorrow, just so you know.
Yeah. It's like, you guys need to get up on this. And they're like, what?
Yeah.
They have cookies. You know? Like, get your shit together, Christians.
Gosh, I tell you, like, freaking the Air Force basic training was so easy to me after being raised by my mother and being raised in the Corps. Like, when you first get there and they do shakedown and you got to like dump out all your stuff, open everything, you know, like they try to just make you nervous and make you screw up. And I was so like calmed and relaxed. I remember my dad saying, like, if they ask you if you have any previous military experience, you tell them no. And I was like, oh, that's dumb. Like, who's going to ask that question? Sure enough, I get called into the office by the TI. Airman, have you had any previous military experience? I'm like, son of a bitch, my dad was right. No, none that I can
Not even kind
remember.
of.
This is
That's
great,
like,
man.
no, but, you know,
I
I
slept
got
in
nothing.
I did
But I
Prestige
slept
Call
at
of Duty.
a Holiday Inn last week.
Holiday Inn. Yeah.
That's what I said. That's when you get that. The Marine Corps, they'd punch you in the face for that, probably. But
I don't think they're
Yeah.
allowed to touch you anymore.
I don't know. And
mm,
I think are people
That's a
allowed
shame.
to have their cell phones? I don't even want to speculate when you guys went through. Like, when did you join?
I went in 08.
Same.
Oh my God, I'm so old. I dated
Yeah.
myself as soon as I said 19 something.
Wasn't that a song too? You know.
A couple songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. Yeah, we're good. Like,
Yeah. I joined November of 93. Yeah.
that ain't bad.
So
And how long
that
did you
ain't-
stay in?
I was in for 10 years.
10. Yeah. I feel like you said that. I'm just don't. I'm
No, I don't think I said that. But I got out because, I had 3 kids. I had mostly it was my back. I had a really screwed up back, and I could not take the pain anymore. I couldn't dress myself. I couldn't take care of my baby. And like, I was at the point where I was in so much pain that I was having thoughts of like, I don't want to be in pain anymore,
right.
And I was doing nothing but going to the hospital. And my supervisor at the time told me to my face that like I was just abusing the military. I basically was faking my back injury.
Malingering.
And I'm like sobbing in the shower at the thought of just having to like dress myself or move. And me walking was painful because the disc was on my sciatic nerve. So standing, sitting, any position was extremely painful.
Yeah.
And so my enlistment was coming to an end, and I was just sobbing to my husband at the time. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I was literally in the process of trying to get commissioned to become an officer.
Mhm.
And I couldn't pass the physical. And I was just like, if I cannot be my absolute best here, then the only thing I wanted to do outside of that was like raise my kids. And so I don't ever regret that I made the choice to walk away from the military to raise my kids. I love being a mom. I love the time I have with my kids. I did so much volunteering with their schools and stuff. And once they got grown, I then was like, dang, I wish I could go back in the military because I missed that. And that was another aspect of what working with Guitars for Vets brought me. It brought me back to this veteran community. It brought me back to like-minded people with like-minded disciplines. And man, like that just felt like this is where I'm meant to be. This is my community of people. This is where my work is. And that's been amazing for me.
What's up,
I
Miss
don't
Mello?
know what else I'd be doing outside of where I'm at now.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like everything's going very well. Like I'm very like.
It seems
excited
like
and
that,
happy to
but like
see.
twice a week I might cry myself to sleep, but everything else
Yeah,
is
that's
fine.
pretty normal
We're
though. We
fine.
all do that. Like that's just the Tuesday.
I mean, life is
I get
still
that.
hard, life is still hard, and the pain, the chronic pain is still there, and you're still losing people, and the economy stresses and life stresses and everything going on. Like, life is still hard, but where your focus goes, energy flows. And so whatever you choose to focus on is what's going to be magnified. And so this is where I choose to put my focus, not on the things I can't control, but on the things that I can, and the people and places that make me feel good and make me feel better and help encourage me to be better.
Yeah, and I love that. Like that's stuff I tell myself to do, and then I never follow through because it's hard. Like trying to find that follow through is just right next to impossible. It seems like.
You know what they say, Derek? Eventually you get sick and tired of being sick and tired. Eventually you will get sick and tired of being this or thinking like this or doing this. And you'll find that thing. but it's not like always an instant thing. It's just a little practice here and there. So if maybe you didn't accomplish it today, doesn't mean you won't accomplish it tomorrow. Like you keep chipping away at it. You know what I mean? Like a water can
Right.
come crashing in across a rock, but it's not going to bust the rock that day. But the more that it keeps going and it keeps working, it's going to erode away that rock.
Yeah.
You know,
Much like a rock and water, I have about 100-year plan. So
good, because all you have to do is be a little bit better than you were yesterday. And I
exactly.
see that. And I see
I'll
that.
work on that myself. Mine's like, I was only this much of an asshole today, so tomorrow I'm gonna step it up a little bit. And so far, I'm doing pretty well. I'm climbing the ladder, the asshole ladder, if you will.
Good to have goals.
It ain't easy, but someone's got to do it.
You're so punny.
I love his puns. They're great.
I'm glad somebody appreciates me.
I do. I love a play on words.
You can't go wrong with them, really. You
That's
really
a
can't.
smart mind. It's a smart mind.
Never heard that before, though. Been accused of a lot of things. That's not one of them.
That's okay.
I call you smart all the time. I don't know what you're talking about. I may not give you enough credit, but the thought's there. So that's what really matters. But
so I was going to ask though, like if someone is interested in getting involved with Guitars for Vets and just find more information on it, do you want to plug some websites or social media?
Sure. So the website would be guitarsforvets.org. And what you're going to find on there is like a chapter locator. Another thing, because we're like in 40 states, we have about 140 chapters. And then if you cannot find a chapter within an hour of you, you qualify for our cyber program. So there's also a cyber chapter that you can join. And we have Facebook pages. So like my chapter is Guitars for Vets Nebraska. So you can go in and type in like Guitars for Vets San Diego or something like that and like find a chapter, Salem. I don't think there's one in San Diego, but Salem comes to mind.
Salem,
what else?
beautiful
What
place.
else?
Great history.
Oregon. So,
Yeah.
I didn't even. There's a lot of Salems out there. I was thinking Oregon, but we're on YouTube. We have a YouTube page. Another thing that I would suggest people do is we have partnered with Challenge America. Go check out Challenge America and their CAV Arts program. CAVARTS. Enroll in that, and once you're in that community, you can go in and find the Guitars for Vets community, and that's another way that you can enroll in the program. The other question is like, how do you qualify for the program? In a lot of the chapters, there's a VA referral process. So depending on your VA, they all run differently. Some VAs will only allow you to go through the program if you're seeking treatment through their mental health program. In our chapter, we're like, I don't care if you get a referral from your dentist, just fulfill the referral process and get it to our liaison. But there are standalone chapters like in Findlay, Ohio, where they are the vetting process. So they look at your DD 214 and you're in, so you just have to check with your local chapter to find out what their requirements are. But essentially what we're looking at is we want to provide a resource to our veterans who are struggling with mental health issues, chronic health issues or whatever, and they just need a resource other than like, drinking or drugs or whatever, and whatever. I don't know. But it's a tool that provides you a focus, because there again, where focus goes, energy flows. So when you're focusing on guitar, and you know this, Derek, right? You kind of lose.
I know very well about this.
Right. You lose everything. Situational awareness. Yeah, you don't focus on anything else. But it also provides you a community of support, because you're going to meet instructors and other graduates and veterans. It also provides you the ability to reconnect with your community and get integrated. So that's why we get involved in a lot of events and bring our veterans out, is to, again, re-engage with your community. So there's a lot of positives to it. And if
Yeah.
you're not a guitar player and you still want to help, there's ways to get involved still, because I have people ask me all the time, like, how can I help? And I'm like, huh, cool, glad you asked. Here's the list of things I need.
Right.
There's a lot of our chapters, because most of them are ran by like retired age, people. They're not always vets. Chapter coordinators don't have to be a vet. They don't have to be a guitar player. But oftentimes, due to age and whatever, a lot of these folks don't have the social media skills to run things and advertise and do marketing and do graphic work or whatever. And so anybody with those kind of skills to spare would be beneficial to a chapter for sure. Um, that's just a little bit of the plug about our organization. And if there's any other questions, people can always just contact me.
Well, so I have
I
another
really-
question on that too, though. If so, say someone wants to learn how to play guitar, but they don't have a guitar, or they don't have the means to buy a guitar at the moment.
Good. That's a good question. So locally here, if you're going through a chapter, we actually provide that equipment for you. So if you came to me, I'd be like, here's all your practice equipment. You go through our program. After 10 weeks, you graduate and you receive your own brand new guitar and equipment. So the cyber chapter, I think, is different. I don't think that they're able to provide everybody a practice guitar. I think one of the things we ask you to do is like beg or borrow from someone if you can. We try to help you locate it if you really can't. But usually even you can call up a music store and just be like, hey, we got a veteran here that's in need of a practice guitar. Could you guys help us out? Like there's ways to kind of help somebody. But if you could help yourself a little bit, that you could get a practice guitar that would, be on loan, that would be useful. The other thing you kind of run into though is, you might get a warped guitar, one that doesn't play well, one with high action on it, which if you're not a guitar player, all that means is it makes it a little bit harder to play and to learn, especially for veterans that might have hand issues, arthritis issues, things like that.
Strings are further away from the fretboard. And
Right,
stuff.
that's what high action means. Yeah. So that's how I learned to play guitar. I didn't know anything about action, man. When I go back and look at the action on my first guitar, I'm like, holy crap, you could almost slid like a deck of cards under there, man.
Same.
Ooh.
You should have seen the Takamine I had in Afghanistan. That thing was like this, just
Yeah.
spiraled.
Absolutely.
It was crazy.
Yeah, no doubt. But so there's ways to help people locate guitars if they absolutely cannot find one. But we do our best.
It's
I
pretty
got
awesome.
one in Utah if you want to go get it, TJ.
Yeah.
You're only in Oklahoma City. Worst case scenario, we could meet in like KC or something. And
yeah, well, I mean, what's a 15-hour drive?
15.
Whatever. Yeah.
KC, how far is that from you? That's like 4.
What? Where? Who?
KC, Kansas City.
Which one? And there are like 13 of them.
I mean, there's one in Kansas and
There's
one in
Missouri and
but
Kansas.
So there's 2. Yeah.
It's still the same.
I think it's all the
city.
same.
It's all the same.
So you're telling me
just where you fall.
just Kansas City? It's like on the line.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what we're saying. Yeah.
Been like it my whole life.
Somebody get the crayons. I'm gonna draw a map.
I already ate dinner.
Yeah, all right, get Brian in here. He keeps his crayons ready, man.
Right on. No, but it's definitely a great program. One that has a lot of growth coming to it in the future. It's gonna provide a lot of variety for our veterans. We just are always looking out for sponsors, donors, things like that. If you want to be a financial donor, there's tons of ways that you can do that. And again, I would just refer everybody to our website to go check out how to donate. You could write me a personal check if you want to. It's Taylor Ullom. Almost said .com. I don't have a .com yet, but I guess I should get one maybe. But no, man, it's this program saved my life. It's brought a lot of healing to my family and to a lot of my friends. And again, every time somebody graduates, I just think, oh my God, I was almost too scared to do this. And so
Right.
to reap the fruit and rewards from that one brave little click, was huge. Because when I look back at where I was in life at that point, I was a very broken down mess of a human being. And the best thing about this whole entire journey is my children have watched me go from the pit of hell to where I am now, because I did not want to leave this earth without my children seeing that they deserve the best version of me. So
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
that's what I work on.
it's all any of us can ask for, is to show our kids how to succeed and how to be happy and live life and love it. I mean,
Because life is hard and life will
Yeah.
break you. And you do have the choice to stay in or tap out. You have that choice. And I almost wanted to tap out, dude. Got to
yeah,
that
I get
point,
that.
And my kids were the one thing that kept me holding on, because they had already been through too much, and their faces just kept popping in my mind. And I made up my mind that, like, okay, they've watched me break, but now they're going to watch me heal. And I made a promise to God in the pit of my PTSD crisis in 21. I tried to quit my job at Guitars for Vets. I tried to quit everything because I was so broken. I could not function for 3 months. I lost all weight. I didn't eat. I didn't drink. I didn't sleep. Like I was broken. And when nobody would let me quit and everybody came in tight and surrounded me and supported me, I realized that what I could do is show people what PTSD looks like. And so I went on a live and I let people see me at my worst, because I heard God say, like, nobody wants to look at pain, but they'll wonder how you healed. Show them how to heal. And so my healing process has been very public. My video of that day is still up there, can still be found. And every morning I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I just want to delete everything. Like, people know too much about me. But I've been repeatedly told, like, how inspirational and encouraging that has been for people, because it's one thing to have an alcoholic stand in front of you and present their book and be like, I used to be an alcoholic and I wrote a book about it and this is how I healed. I mean, like, great, that is super
Right.
helpful, but you're already healed. Like, that's not as tangible as being so authentic that you go, well, here it is, guys. This is what
Yeah.
PTSD looks like. I look like shit. I lost 30 pounds. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I can't make a decision. I can't function. I can't do anything but cry. That's it. That's all I can do. And everybody was shocked, because nobody expected that from me, because I would never let anybody see it. But once I got the diagnosis and I looked back over my life, I was like, oh my God, like, this has been obvious for a long time. Why didn't anybody ever say this is what
Anything.
you have? Once I got that diagnosis, that changed my treatment plan for my health, and I have been a whole different person since. So it is very important to get that PTSD diagnosis, I think. I was labeled under depression and anxiety for years. But when I went into this crisis mode, I remember asking one of the doctors, do you treat people with PTSD differently than you do just anxiety and depression? He goes, oh, yeah. I was like, oh, cool. I had PTSD. And that's when everything changed. And the only reason why I knew I had PTSD was from all the veterans that I had worked with that told me what living with PTSD had been like for them. So that's been my journey since 2021.
So I feel like a lot of people get that confused, because anxiety and depression are both symptoms of PTSD, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of doctors will just say you have anxiety or depression, which really you have PTSD, and those are just some of the most, outstanding symptoms of it. Yeah.
Yeah, most common symptoms as well.
They'll treat the symptom, but not the root cause. And the problem is then, okay, I also have OCD tendencies. When I get triggered, I will go crippling OCD on things. And so when I started to realize, oh, okay, I also stop eating. I also stop sleeping when I get triggered, Oh, well, once I'm completely aware that all of these behaviors are connected to anxiety being one of the first ones, depression being the other one, um, yeah, oh my God, it changed everything. It changed my therapy process. I'm like, okay, this is why talk therapy isn't going anywhere. I literally have trauma stored in my physical body. So I started doing EMDR and rewiring my brain. Like these are critical exercises and tools that people can be using that outside of general anxiety and depression are magnificent for a healing process. Which is why I'm really grateful for the whole health program, because also doing like trauma work through yoga, through any sort of a art program, like these are huge. These are huge to know.
That's just incredible. There's so much out there now that I think they are getting better at trying to figure this all out. But
a pill doesn't fix it. A pill does not do anything but really, I think, cripple you into being less of a human. I mean, I do take
right.
medication. That is a part of my treatment. I've had people criticize to my face their whole thought. Like, I can't believe people take medication for depression. I just think that is so stupid because I just manage my blah, blah, blah. And then they look at me and I go, well, I take medication for my depression. And then they're like, oh my God, you do?
Oh,
Yeah, I do. And I've been taking it for decades and I have no shame in it because it keeps
yeah.
me going.
Yeah. I mean, not there's no one fix all,
No, I know routine is important. I know my diet is important. I know that I have to exercise. Like, there are just things I know that I have to do to stay on top of this. Because if I don't, there are consequences. Stress management is huge. And so, if just treating depression, anxiety isn't getting you anywhere, I would surely say dig further into learning about PTSD, because it's not just a combat
Right.
related issue. Like you can have
No, it's not.
PTSD from an illness, you can have PTSD from divorce, from a car crash. Like any traumatic event can create PTSD. Now, it can be a small episode of PTSD and you get work and you heal from it, and that's no big deal. But also, I have complex PTSD because, like, literally since birth, I've had trauma throughout my entire life.
Right.
So I know that's just part of my quirky personality now. But man, like it makes me so happy that that was a critical turn for my life. That was a critical turn, and so now I'm just going to write out my days helping other people experience that same kind of healing.
Yeah. And I think you're doing an amazing job at it. So, I mean, keep doing what you're doing for sure.
Well, it sure puts me in touch with awesome people like you, as you both disparage yourself greatly. I think
No.
just the opposite of you. I admire you guys putting your podcast out there and making connections and giving a platform. And I know that it's not just healing for you and growth for you, but you're also providing that open opportunity to many other veterans who are just casually scrolling through Facebook right now and stumble across your podcast. Like
Right.
that's huge. That's doing
I
something.
mean,
That's making a
that's what it's
difference.
about for us. We just want to make it part of a normal conversation to be able to talk about all this stuff and talk about
Absolutely.
mental health, and don't be afraid of it. I mean, there's nothing to be afraid of. It's natural, it's healthy, it's part of life.
One of the things I hear is comparison. Like people will be like, well, I didn't go to combat, so I shouldn't. And like, please don't even say that.
Yeah.
Trauma is trauma. Trauma is trauma, period. Nothing else needs to be
Right.
said after that. Anybody that's trying to compare it is wrong.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, it's just we have to look out for each other, and it doesn't matter what caused you to be where you are. It's what we do to help you moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
everybody handles situations differently also, so what might affect me might not affect you.
Right. And I think that the great thing about all of us joining together at Hero Stock was the fact that you don't feel isolated and alone. Like literally, I just felt like I locked arm, like band of brothers or something. Like, oh, I've got my army of people now. I've got my squad of people now, and people I can rely on, people I can call up and say, I'm not having a good day. And I'm not gonna be the first to admit to you though that on those bad days, I still struggle with calling somebody and saying, I'm having a really bad day.
I think
Because
we all
even though
do.
I'm in even though
Yeah.
I'm in treatment, and even though I take medication and whatever, I can still have days that are just really freaking hard where I cannot see anything beyond the end of my nose. You know, whatever misery I'm stuck in, whatever pain I'm stuck in that moment, I have a very hard time getting past. And it's just hard for people to understand that don't have that to deal with. That you can be
that
fine
never
one
dealt
day
with
and
that.
trip and fall the next, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy, and you can't explain it to them. I mean, I've tried that a million times.
Yeah. So, you know, checking in with each other, doing a battle buddy check. I mean, that's huge. And, you know, if you need to create a code because you can't even type out, I'm not okay, but you send just like a thumbs down emoji or something, like nothing else needs to
Right.
be said. I know that you're signaling to me that you're struggling. That's all I need to know. And tell people
Right.
ahead of time, like, this is what you can do when I'm in that place. I can't feed myself, so please encourage me to eat. Just bring me a shake, get me to drink that shake or something, you know, or I just need somebody to sit with me or whatever. Like I've literally gone and slept in a friend's bed because I just needed to know she was close and that I was safe. My friends give me that safe space. Like that's all I need.
Yeah, that's exactly what you need. I mean, I've been trying to cut through the sexual tension between me and TJ for years now, and I haven't gotten anywhere there. But he knows my
We saw
signs.
it happen.
Well, I don't know how that turned sexual for you, but you know, I just am grateful.
It's how TJ knows like when I'm not okay.
It's we call it chemistry, you know.
Yeah,
I ain't talking about math because I don't
Chemistry.
math good, but you know,
but we know all about that chemistry.
yeah.
So I just
Blinded by
hope
science.
that anybody that's listening to this podcast understands that they're not alone in their struggles and that there's a way to build a support system that maybe you haven't thought of yet, but it's out there. It's just
Yeah,
finding the right
absolutely.
people. You got to be around the right people.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. And, you know, like me and TJ, and I think everyone in the group said a million times, if anyone needs anything, reach out to any of us. Like, we're here for you. We want
I
to be
need
there for you. We want to help
$5,000.
you out. Yeah. So
Yeah. I'm just grateful for that.
I'll
Yeah.
come up with it.
I'm
Eventually.
Yeah, I'm going to be taking Tom a guitar, Tom Edinger down. I think where's he at? In Arkansas. I'm going to be making a trip down there in a couple weeks, and I told him I'd drop a guitar off for him. He said, "I hope you can work a miracle." I'm like, so far, I can work a miracle for everybody.
Scotty
but me.
too.
I thought he was in Nashville.
Oh no, it's a great group of people, and I look forward to getting together with all you guys again.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm so
And
excited.
shoot,
about
Derek,
it.
we should make time to meet up and play guitar.
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know
always
how
for
far
it.
away North Platte is, but I need to come up there and help you set up a chapter.
Yeah, you could. I'd actually love that. I have a lot of fun with it. Like guitar just makes me happy. It's the one thing I do that keeps me sane. So, and yeah, there's really, I mean, it's hard to find stuff out here in Western Nebraska. I mean, it's impossible.
Like
we
how
don't even
far
have a
away is
music
that
store anymore.
from Omaha?
From Omaha, we're about 4 hours.
And that's northwest. Is that up near Scotts Bluff?
No, we're smack dab in the middle. We're like an hour from Colorado. You know where the Panhandle is?
Yeah.
We're kind of like at the corner of the Panhandle where it goes back south.
Yeah, the map's coming
off
back to me
I-80.
suddenly. I haven't seen a
right
weather
there.
map in a hot minute, but you guys were in
Yeah.
a tornado threat the other day.
Yeah, we had a huge storm weather thing, but then there's TJ, and he's always in tornado warning weather. So, try not to complain.
It's no big whoop. But because my life is full of irony and fun, in 2017, when like I was going through my divorce and everything was really, really bad, that was the year God decided 2 tornadoes should just plow like right through my neighborhood. I was like, this checks. This seems fair. This is right on the mark. Like right on.
Yeah, this is just right on cue with life right now.
Everything's
Let's
going
make
from
it better for
bad
you.
to worse. Yeah. And then came the blizzards. Then came the biblical flooding that wrecked the state.
That was
Like
bad.
80% of the state was underwater. Right. And I kept thinking, you know what? A year from now, we will look back on this. We will have like conquered it. Everything's going to be okay. And a year later, we go into freaking COVID lockdown. And I'm like, son of a bitch. Are we in the biblical plagues? What is happening?
It might be.
Like, I don't want to be that guy, but I'm pretty sure you just need to move. Like, you have all this shit happening.
Things are settling down now. We're fine. We're mostly
it's cool.
okay.
Just fucking like blizzards, tornadoes, floods, and fucking ghosts in your house. Whatever.
Ain't bothering nobody.
Not a big deal.
John's not hurting anybody, TJ.
Well, I didn't say he was. John, if you're listening.
Those snowstorms though were like freaking hurricanes over our state. Do you remember that? Like I can't remember what they called them. Blizzard bombs, or I don't even remember what they called them.
It was some weird name like that. I think we're looking at more snow than usual this year.
That checks, because here's why. Like 2 months ago, I sold my snowblower. And I was like,
that's it.
This feels like I shouldn't have done that, but I'm totally going to pay somebody else. No, I'm going to have to pay somebody else to shovel my driveway, which I have a wonderful neighbor who actually just on his own, I will wake up and he's already cleared out my driveway and sidewalks and everything. Like he's so great. He looks out for us.
Thunder blizzard.
Thunder blizzard. Did you Google it?
No.
Shauna remembers Thunder Blizzard. It was something like that. Yeah.
Way to go, Mom. High five.
Was it an atrocity?
I'll downstairs and high five you later. I'll go downstairs. That's not far.
You're so lucky to get to live with your parents.
Yeah, it's great.
I tell my daughter that all the time. She's like, "Oh, my friends say I should move out." I'm like, "In this economy, why would you do that?"
Right.
I keep her abreast of all the outrageous prices on food. Just today, I was like, "Can you believe this? A pound of hamburger used to be like $1.90, and now it's like $7."
Yeah, come on. You get to
save
save money. You get to live with Mom and John. I mean, shit, life's good.
I about had a mild panic attack the other day because I went to get toilet paper and it said like $20 for a 6-pack, and oh geez, I'm not hating it, Mom. God.
Mom,
I wouldn't hate it.
Mom, meatloaf. Now we had boudin for dinner. It was amazing.
You had what?
Boudin for dinner. Cajun.
What that is.
And we have some alligator that we're going to be working on here in the future.
Oh, just comment for dinner. I'll be there. I'll drive 4 hours for dinner.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
I made nachos and watched the Chiefs game.
That went very well. I'm very happy for you Chiefs fans. Yeah, I'm also really, really excited for all of Colorado for having the worst weekend ever.
It's pretty brutal, man.
Between the Buffs and then the Dolphins, what they did to them.
Yeah, it's going to go down in history.
I saw a meme and I really didn't think the score was real. I was like, there's no way the Dolphins beat Denver 70-20.
I'm going to be honest with you. I thought the Chiefs game was going to go. I don't know what the final score was, but it was 40-something to like 3 the last time I checked.
Yeah, I think that's how it ended. It was 40, whatever the 3. But God, I mean, the Bears are just so bad. It's just great.
The Bears.
Yeah.
But
I don't feel
my
bad
favorite
for
thing now
they got weed and shrooms and all that other stuff. So
My
Good for
favorite
them.
thing is now how all the Swiftie fans are going to be Chiefs fans. So
Yeah.
Taylor Swift was at that concert. That's all
Yeah.
they were talking about, man.
That's been
So
meme hot.
good for
Is
her, I
like
guess.
Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift and how they're getting married and blah. The memes are crazy. I love the meme culture. Meme culture is so
Yeah.
fun.
She's
He's gonna
just
have a
working
song
on
about
her
him
next
here in
album.
2 weeks.
Yeah. I'm like, she's
Yeah, that'd
about
be
to
great.
write the best like rock anthem for sports ever. That's probably what she's gonna do next.
Yeah,
But
I mean, that's a good possibility. She'll probably be doing the Monday Night Football thing.
right.
Like,
Yeah. Rescore the whole thing. But she just
nobody can
performed
replace
at,
Carrie.
I mean,
I
I
love Carrie.
guess.
I love Carrie. She's great.
But yeah,
She's meant to be.
no. I mean, I don't care what happens. I just love that people are living their best lives. Go for it, man. Go for it.
Yeah, they have to. I mean, it's great. And
But she just
I'm just
performed at
thankful.
Arrowhead, I think, like a few weeks ago, didn't she?
Yeah, I think so. That sounds right.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm excited about it. I'm like, my weekend is successful now that Colorado has just been thoroughly beat down. So, like,
They're missing
if
their
nothing good,
Peyton.
if nothing else good happened, that did. So,
I don't even know what happened to Colorado after Peyton Manning left because Peyton was my man.
who
Love me
doesn't
some
love
Peyton
Peyton Manning? I love that man. He's
miss him.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I also miss Brett Favre though, despite all of his shenanigans.
I mean,
I
I wasn't
really
a
like
huge Brett Favre fan, but I see what you're
I
saying.
really like a drunk guy that just goes out and wins the football and then takes over entire team.
Well, and let's just talk about how like Aaron Rodgers is still hanging in there, but like not well.
Yeah, I don't
He's
think he is
not doing
anymore.
well.
He's not doing.
Yeah,
He just tore his Achilles. He's done.
Yeah,
That
he
poor
should
guy.
retire.
it was a bad week for losing expensive jets in America.
Yes. Oh my God! Don't get me started on that. Oh my gosh.
That the F-35 meme thing is great too. I'm so excited about this. Like,
That is just like so crazy.
They wanted a stealthy boy and they got one, you know.
I mean, at that price, you think they would apply some sort of like drone technology to it in the event your pilot
shit,
ejected.
Like a Find My Phone app or something, you know? Damn.
It's almost like somebody should have put an Apple Air ID in there,
AirTag on there. Right. Well, they found
all the
it,
things.
Yeah. And luckily it didn't hurt anybody. So
oh, Rick.
Thank God for that.
That was good stuff. Life's good. But
I don't want to keep how old I am. When I was in high school, the SR-71 was still flying. Like
really? That's pretty sweet.
The Blackbird fly.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool brag. Like that's a neat brag.
It's an old brag, but it's still pretty cool.
It's still cool.
That was cool jet back in the day.
I mean, me and TJ will have to be like, yeah, back when we were in, they had Chinooks and
yeah. Back when I was,
you're gonna be like A10.
The towers get hit.
Yeah, the A10 guys. That'll be a cool brag though.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that those are still around forever, but
I really hope so too.
They just keep talking about letting them go. Tank killers,
they keep talking about it, but it's really hard to do.
It's just my favorite. I think it's just my favorite jet. I love jets, period. My daughter says that like it is reckless to have me drive when there's an air show in town because I'm like, oh, airplanes. You know, I've sprinted out of the back of stores out the door because I heard jets take off, and I'm like, I gotta go see it. Like I cannot stop myself. But I love the sound of the A-10, especially the when they're firing their guns and stuff. I would love to go fly in one. Ronald Reagan years, absolutely. Those were good decades, man.
Yeah, those were the good days. Not that I was there for it, but
that hurts a little
great
bit.
stories.
I remember coming out of like fourth grade or something and hearing that the president got shot. And for some reason in my little fourth grade mind, I thought like we would probably be next. Like I had no concept of like how far away the president was from Georgia. But as far as I knew,
Yeah,
the
fair
killer
enough.
was like basically in my backyard.
He was there. You never
Yeah.
know.
Well, in
You know?
Georgia, pretty much on every corner that was we had like the highest murder per capita in the
Yeah, I was gonna
United
say, I'm pretty
States.
sure
It was pretty
that
bad.
area,
Yeah.
it may not have been the one that shot the president, but there's a good chance you're gonna get shot.
Absolutely true. I have lots of stories on me just being in a situation where, like, I was at a Burger King. My boyfriend at the time, like, grabs me and pulls me over. And I'm like, well, that's sweet. Like, he wants to be close. But it was because literally standing right next to me, a guy pulled out a gun and had it pointed at the cashier. He was robbing the place right while we were having dinner. And all I remember was like him pulling me over, me looking up, seeing this old couple running out the door, like they're crouched down and they're running out the door. And I'm like, what is happening? And then I look over and I'm like, oh. And I was so just like dumb, for lack of a better word. Like fear did not kick in for me. Like I guess I was like, well, he's not pointing the gun at me, so I'm good, you know. But he was literally standing right next to me, pointing at the cashier.
I like the obliviousness. Like those are honestly some of my favorite videos to watch too. Like I can't remember what I saw a video on like TikTok or something, but they shoot up this gas station. The guy just like keeps buying his stuff and then just walks out as they're shooting it. And I was like, I love this.
That
these
was
are
the
my
olden days. But the new days, I'm constantly like scanning. Jordan and I went to London last year, and I remember telling her before we left, I was like, look, we're Americans, we're targets. So blah, blah, blah. Be aware of your surroundings and just understand there might be people who want to kill you. And she was like, yeah, I know. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. And then I thought maybe I was being just a little too military there with her. But sure enough, we're out in London. We're on like the Westminster side of town sightseeing. We stop off at this little cafe. It's nighttime. And the way we're sitting, there's an alley this way and an alley this way and a building right in front of us. I have my back to the restaurant. She's got her back to the alley. I hear a noise. I hear something crashing. I look over and I see like this huge rugby looking dude coming in through the alley. He's cussing. He's punching anything he can punch and kick, dropping the F-bomb. And I'm like clocking him. Jordan looks up and she sees me and she's like, oh shit. She's looking in the window now. She sees him. And I'm like, okay, he's just going to walk by. Nope. He starts going table by table, threatening to kill people, trying to confront everybody. The maitre d' comes out. He punches the guy straight in the face, up against the wall. And I'm like, man, I didn't want to have to kill anybody today, but okay, what do I have here? And I'm like, I got like a fork and a butter knife, dude. And I'm like, that's all I need, right? Because like I've got so much rage pent up inside of me. Like I'm just hoping, come on. So he's to the table right next to us. And I said, Jordan, you're going to turn, you're going to run in that direction, and you go straight to the hotel room. And she was like, okay. I said, do not stop. Do not look for me. She's like, okay. And then luckily the cops show up and the guy takes off. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm like, okay, we're fine. And then I'm like ready to go back to eat. Jordan's like, we're done and we're leaving. And she was like, we are out of there. And she was like, why isn't anybody freaking out? And I'm like, oh, because that's just like normal, I guess,
It's normal there, you know.
But really, see, and this is what we don't think about with our kids. She's been raised in a culture where what she was expecting was this man to pull out a gun and start shooting everybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she was expecting. This is London, where you might get acid thrown on you. You might get knifed, but they're not really rolling around with guns, you know.
Right.
Yeah, they're just forking around in it.
But like, I'm sorry that she had to go through that experience, but she understands more of like what it means, you know, being out in the world and stuff. And this is crazy night, but you know, anyways, Anyways, I know like 40 minutes ago you tried to wrap up this podcast, but I just got so many stories, man.
No, I didn't care. I feel bad keeping you all night.
No, I mean, I don't even know. It's almost 9:00, so it probably is time to wrap it up. But I appreciate
I like the
you guys.
idea that you would have MacGyvered that situation with like a plastic spoon and a rubber band and still somehow managed to find a way to kill him.
I get sickly calm in weird, stressful environments like that. Like fear is not my go-to. I'm just like, okay, like I got this. I'm just like, I'm gonna kill a man tonight. I was just like prepared.
This is where I do my best work, you know.
Like,
I'm gonna kill a guy. I'm gonna play a badass fucking jam.
Had
It's like,
a plan, brother. It was very vivid in my mind what was gonna go down because I was like, this guy is not even gonna expect this little white girl, American woman, whatever, to come at him like with the
And then
amount of rage I had inside of me.
She's about to Sherlock Holmes him. You know what
gotta
I
be
mean?
vibing. You know?
Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah,
Like I have
Taylor's
the
always
ability
bad
to disassociate, man. So like he could do anything to me. I wouldn't feel it. I would just be like, kill, 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 you know. But
I just like
anyway.
seeing this all go through your head like the Sherlock Holmes movies.
That poor Maitre D. This guy was like 8 feet tall. The Maitre D was like 5 feet tall, and he just like, boom. And I was like, looking around. None of the guys moved. Everybody just kept sitting casually at their table. And I'm like, am I gonna have to come to this man's defense? Like, what is happening right now? They just do things different in England. They're like, it's all
They really
do.
Yeah.
Like, good luck. Peace out, bro. I'm gonna keep eating my.
I'm gonna finish my wine. Let me know if you need me.
Have fun. In the meantime, just leave me alone.
Yeah.
I like it.
Anyways, so here we are. We're fine.
Yeah, everything's good. You've lived in a new experience that you can share, and it's a good time.
I'm like, there's just things my kids think they know about me, but there's always room for a surprise. And I didn't want my daughter to have to witness me going all psycho on somebody.
Be a cool story later in life, though.
Tonight
Dude,
at 10.
There was one time my mom took out this
there with
8-foot
a
guy.
fork, blood all over me. Tonight at 10.
She goes back to school and she's like, "It was like, how's your weekend? Oh, it wasn't bad, you know. Like, went to London. My mom stabbed this guy to death, and everybody just sat there watching, like, sat over there in the corner, you know."
So you might have seen my mom on TikTok or in the news tonight on CNN. Yeah.
American woman kills man in London.
Just saying.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. Can't go wrong.
Just another day.
I would say I'm trained to kill.
Yeah, clearly.
I might not be good at it, but I could if I had to.
We don't know yet.
Right?
One day, though, and all that anger and those years of pent-up aggression are just going to come out on some poor soul.
That's what I'm saying.
There's going to be a book series written about you. She who must not be named. You know?
Going to be on like
Betsy Ross is about to write Fight Part 6. And Taylor.
I love that.
We just don't know it yet.
I got to read her books.
Yeah, me too. We really do. I really got to get, I got to read a lot of books.
I know. I'm like, I don't know if I remember how to read. But
that's what audiobooks are for.
I can't even pay attention to audiobooks. I space out so hard. I'm like, oh my God, I just missed 4 chapters.
Still counts.
Well, I go back and re-listen.
All right, friends. Well, I'm going to let you
take
go
off.
Here. Wrap
I hope you
off.
have a good night. Before you get out of here, I'll let TJ do a spiel. I haven't heard this in like 3 weeks now. I got to hear TJ's deal.
Yeah. So if your homies aren't posting dank-ass memes on Facebook and other social media platforms, might want to check on them, you know, and if someone reaches out to you having some issues, don't be a cocksucker. Just try to listen the best you can, give the best advice that you know how, and just try to be a decent human being. That's pretty much it.
It really is. It's my favorite line. It's my favorite part of every show is just getting to listen to TJ call everyone a cocksucker. So
yeah. Well, I'm saying don't be. I'm not calling everybody, but like if you don't do that, then like
that's what I get at. You know what I mean. You mean what I know.
Well, I have questions, but they're more for off the air. So, anyways,
perfect.
I kind of agree what he's saying, which is don't wait for somebody to ask for help. just reach out and check on people when they cross your mind for sure. And always send an encouraging statement to somebody if you think they might need a positive word. And more importantly, know what resources are available in your area so that if somebody does need help, you can connect them. You don't have to be the one to help them, but you can connect them.
Yeah. And remember 988, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Like that'll be yeah, it's a good way to wrap this whole thing up, I think. You guys killed it. I appreciate everyone listening in and having fun with us tonight. Taylor, we will talk to you here in a minute, but until then, until next time, guys, we're out of here. If I can